kind of get a start on the assignment, and then I'm going to let y'all work where I'm in here and can help you. And I'll also call different ones up if you have questions, or I'll give you a chance. Some of you had questions about the quizzes. You wanted to see some of the answers on the quizzes. Some people maybe have a question about their assignment, so I'll give you some time to do that. No, I don't care about that. I don't know what all this is coming up. Okay, then. All right, so in Evernote, I actually don't even have to go to Evernote because I have it right here. 3. Okay, so this is the problem that's worth 30 points. That is like a duplicate of what you'll do on the hands-on test. Of course, it'll be a different problem, but you'll be tested over being able to use 2 different kinds of loops, one nested inside, one that controls how many times you go through the whole program. Because these are the 2, this is the actual type of logic that you will use in any language that you work with. This is the basic kind. Normally you don't have just one little loop. You will have something that controls how many times you are going to execute the program. Okay, so this problem, you will create pseudocode or flowchart for the following problem. Pseudocode must be on a separate Word.doc or docx. Flowchart must be created in Visio or Lucidchart and saved to a PDF document. Create and test the JavaScript for the problem. It must be a .html file. Create a folder called yourinitials_A3 and put all files in the folder. Zip the folder and upload the one zipped file with the correct name to the Dropbox. Now, this is the first time I'm not going to give you points for zipping your file, okay? So, but I won't grade it if it's not in the format, okay? Because we've been doing that all semester. We're halfway through now, and so everybody should be able to do that. So today, if you still have problems with that, please let me know, because in the zipped folder, there should be how many files? 2. There should be the HTML file and your PDF file or Word doc. If you do pseudocode, you're not required to save it as a PDF, but if you do, that's fine also. Like sometimes those who use Pages, I don't know if it gives you the option to save it as a PDF, because then you wouldn't have to use Word doc. The Pages are those that are on the Mac. It may give you an option to export it as a PDF. I can't remember. I've got Pages, but I don't think I've loaded it on this particular computer, so I haven't used it a lot. Okay, so any questions about what's required there? Okay, so here's the actual problem. The RSC bookstore is having a 3-day sale during which the price of any unsold t-shirt drops 15% each day. For example, the t-shirt that costs $15 on the first day costs 15% less, or $12.75 on the second day. On the third day, the same item is 15% less than $11, or $10.84. Design an application that allows a user to input a price until a value of 0 is entered. Output is the price of each item on each day, 1 through 3. Okay? So everybody, I'm going to give you specific. Did I give you specific? Oh, I didn't give you specific number to go through, but because I want everybody to use the same output. I'll put that on there too, so that I can, when I grade it and when you grade it, you'll know that your output is the same. So what you're going to do is allow the store owner, maybe they have 15 customers come in one day and only 2 the next day. Well, they want to be able each day to use this program for however many customers that come in and buy t-shirts, okay? So that you're going to have an inner loop, and here I give you the hints to how to set it up. This problem will have an outer loop and a nested loop. Code the nested loop as a counter-controlled loop. So the idea is to make it work first using one t-shirt price over 3 days. So get that working first for one t-shirt, for one customer, right? Buying a t-shirt, what's the price going to go down each day? Okay? So once you get that working, then you're able to just take that and put it inside the outer loop that's just controlled by the sentinel value of 0. You code the outer loop. So it's just like all the problems that we've been working at the end of chapter 4, right? We created in part A the procedure that actually does the most of the work, and then we create our control loop, or the one with the sentinel value where the user controls when we stop. Okay? Everybody understand what's required? Any questions before you get started? So before you leave today, you should at least be able to do the first part, have that nested loop done. Okay? See if you can get that figured out, and that's even though it may not seem like the most difficult part, that's the most important part, because that's what calculates it for one customer, right? Okay, and then I have you on this particular problem, which it will be required on the test this time, to use the toFixed function so that when you print out your dollar values, they will be fixed to 2 cents instead of being carried out a bunch of cents on the end, okay? So your output's going to look a little nicer this time. Some of you have been doing it anyway, but...
Yeah, because the decimals get crazy big.
Yeah, they do get crazy big. Okay, so here's the way the points will work. You'll notice that the most points are awarded for you getting the logic correct, because that's what I'm the most concerned about, is the pseudocode or the flow chart. Everything has to be correct. Now, how do you know if your logic's correct here, even if your JavaScript doesn't run? What can you do here to test it? Just take some values and go down with a pencil and say, okay, if I put this one in, the t-shirt would be here. You know, just figure it like we've done in class before with problems. Okay? And if your logic's correct, then you'll get 15 points. If the JavaScript is coded and the logic is correct, but maybe the JavaScript doesn't run, but you've actually got it there and you can't find some little something, because a lot of times, some of you on the test, you'll say, well, I can't get it, and I try to help you. Well, this time, I'm not going to help you on any of it at the test time. I will on this assignment, okay? But if you're doing this and on the test, you don't have to panic, because you're still going to get 8 points. If you've coded the JavaScript and the logic was correct up here, then it's going to be correct in your JavaScript, okay? But if there's some little something that keeps your JavaScript from running, then you'll get some points off, okay? But the reason is, it wouldn't be, if somebody gets it to this point and gets 100%, you know, that's 100% because they've figured all that out, all right? But you still pass it without it running correctly, all right? But I don't even care about the points, I just know you all do. So I'm trying to explain to you that the thing that's important to me is that you get to here and can, by now, this is the midterm, you know, right after midterm, that you can do that part of the problem, okay? Because you'll be successful in a language course if you can do the basics of the logic. You'll get more practice with the language as you go on. Okay, so anybody have any questions about this?
Yeah.
Okay, Faith.
Okay, the problem talks about a 3-day sale. So you want it to stop after 3 days, or do you want to keep going until the t-shirt's free?
No, just 3 days. You just tell us, that's why it says code the nested loop as a counter control loop. Make it work first using one t-shirt price over 3 days. Okay? So at the end of 3 days, that's all you have to print out. So for each customer, you're only going to have 3 prices of the t-shirt. So you're telling that customer, if you come in, you know, if you buy it the first day, it's this price, second day, it's this price, third day, it's this price. Okay? Let me see if I can find one that runs, that shows you. Let me find my solution.
So your days is the outer loop, and then your percentage is the inner.
No, your inner loop is the days. It's the counter-controlled loop. Your outer loop is determined by, okay, the user is they put 0 when they don't want to do it anymore. Okay?
Oh, okay, that's okay. All right.
Yeah, that's what the sentinel value means. Let me see if I can find one so you can see what the output looks like. Why am I not seeing? I had it up here a while ago. That's assignment 2, assignment 2. Okay, let me go over. Wait, this one. Assignment 4. Okay, here's one. I think this one's right. Let me see. See if this one works. Please enter the starting price of the product. Okay, now because I don't tell you what the starting price, I just give you an example. So if we said the starting price is $15, okay, that one didn't work. I thought that was the one that worked. Hold on. Oh, this one will. But I don't ever like the way this one was done. Okay, this is what it is. How many shirts will you? Let me make sure this is right. Okay, that's where the 0 goes in, because you're asking how many shirts do they want to buy, and when they enter 0, then you stop. Okay, so here's, like, say they want to buy, let's just say 1 shirt this time. That'll be easier. What is the shirt price? And there is what you would print out. The original price of the shirt was $15. Day 1 price is $12.75 for 1 shirt. Day 2 price is $10.84 for 1 shirt. Day 3 price is $9.21 for 1 shirt. If you would like to continue, then enter 1. If not, enter 0. So if we say another one, let's do 2 shirts. And let's say this time they're only $10. The original price of the shirt, that went back to the original price of the shirt was 10. If you would like to, it didn't print out the other prices. Let's see if I put.
Oh, they might not have. They might have initialized the counter variable in the variables and not
in the other one. So
list.
this,
Yeah.
let me see. Let's see what this one
I screwed
did.
up my flowchart.
Let's see. What is the shirt price? 10. Because that one didn't work right. Let's see. If you would like to continue, I'm going to say enter 0. Let me see if at the end it prints them out. No, it didn't. So it only worked 1 time. Go back to thought that I did one that I showed them, but I sure. Oh, maybe this is where it is. Assignment. Okay, maybe. No, that's not a good one. Trying to find one where that one doesn't even run. See if I can find just the pseudocode. I thought I had that up. I had everything but that ready. Well, we'll start on it and see how we go on it. For say 15 minutes, we'll work on it together, and then I'm going to use the last 30 minutes for everybody. Yes, Corey.
What does the $11 have to do with
Yeah, I think that that's a mistake. That's what, when I was reading it, that's why you saw me hesitate. I'm like, what is that? On the third day, the same item is 15% less. I don't know where, because what you should be doing is saying, okay, I need to change. Let me call that up as a Word doc.
Just mistype it.
Yes. Because what should that, did you
It
calculate?
should be $12.75.
Okay.
It'd be $11.
Oh, where did that? Let me go and fix it on the Word doc and upload it again. So students will see that that is wrong. Yeah, that was confusing. Okay, let me open it as a Word doc and then it'll let me fix it. Okay, so what it should be saying here is that, for example, t-shirt that costs $15 on the first day, it would cost 15%, or $12.75 on the second day. On the third day, the same item should be 15% less than $12.75, which is $10.84. Should say 12. 15%. Yeah, that's where you could interpret it two ways, because you could continue to take 15% off of $15, but if you did that, it would be the same price each day. So now it's 15% of $12.75, which would be $10.84 on the third day. So the first day it's $15, then on the second day it's $12.75, and on the third day it's $10.84. So to see if yours works right, you the first time through you should use the $15. Then you'll know, right? Because if you use $15 and you, okay, somebody comes in. So what is the input for this problem? What would your input be? What are you going to ask the user if it's just the nested loop that you're getting started with? What are we going to? What do we need to ask the user? What do we need to know from the user? Number of shirts and the cost of each shirt, right? So that's what our first problem is going to be. So if we go over, let me find Text Wrangler because it's a good thing to do this in. Okay, so if we're doing, say, let me do just a new document. Okay, so if we're doing the pseudocode and we say start, we're going to make our declarations. I kind of skipped ahead and said input. So what variables are we going to need? We're just doing the first nested loop. We're not worrying about the outer loop yet. We're just doing the pseudocode for one customer. Okay. So what variables do we need? Shirts, number of shirts, right? Is that what you want?
Do we really need? It doesn't ask for a number of shirts. It just asks for the user to input a price until a value of 0 is entered.
Yeah, do we need that? I think it was confusing how I showed you another student did it, how they interpreted it, because actually it is just asking us for one shirt. So if we do that, we just need shirt price, right? So let's just say price. And let's go ahead and initialize it to 0 so that we know there's nothing in there. What other variable are we going to need? Discount. Okay. Discount equals, and it's 0.1.
0.15.
If you do 0.85,
Yeah.
that's 85%.
You're doing it opposite. You're okay, I see what you're doing. It'll work either way. He's saying he's going to multiply it times the 85% instead of taking away the 15%. Do you follow what Corey said? So we can do it either way. You want to do it the 85? Let's try 85. So then we don't have to subtract. That's what you're thinking, right, Corey? Because then we don't have to subtract 15%. We can just multiply 85% times the cost of the shirt. Everybody follow? All right. So do we need any more variables?
Shirt number.
Now, do we need, if we're taking shirt number in, do you interpret? No, we don't need shirt. No, we don't need shirt number. So what about, do we need, well, price is the total price, right? So we might want a break somewhere so we could do that. Variable BR equals and that would be a semicolon. Okay, we'll start that way and see if we've got it all. Okay, then we're going to do our, and I'm going to go ahead and comment this so y'all see. Input. Okay, so we would say input is simply price, and that's all we need right now, right? Price of the shirt. What's the total price? So we're going to, if we do it like the book does, input does their pseudocode, they say output, what is the price of the shirt? And then they say input price. But I only require you to put whatever the input is. Input price. And now if we have the input price, what are we ready for next? We need to print out the original price maybe, or we can do that at the bottom. But if we want to keep the original, if we have to print out the original price, we probably need to do that unless we want to set up another variable that holds the original price, right? You understand? Because we're going to change price each time we multiply times price, right? So would it be best to say output price there, original price, output price, okay, and then do we start our loop? Is this when we start our loop? It's supposed to be a counter-controlled loop, right? Anybody have an idea? What's next? What do we want to do? All we want to do, we've got our price, and we want to go through multiplying times 85%. How many times? 3. So we're going to say, what can we say
So
here?
we need to have the sale day variable too.
Yeah.
The counter
Okay,
variable.
good. So we need a counter variable.
Are we only going to multiply twice?
I think we are, because the first time is already there. So we really only need to execute the loop 2 times. So it's kind of confusing there. Okay, so we'll say variable, we'll just call it counter, equals, we want to start it out at 0. You can start it at 1, however you want to do it. So here we'll say while, or we can use a for loop, either one, because it's a counter controlled, right? So if it's a counter controlled, we actually could say for counter equals, if we look at the, let's look at the one that was the counter, the for loop that it gave us. Oops, I'm in the wrong chapter. Let's go back here. That was the very end we learned to use a for loop. If it's a short loop, the thing is it's less statements in our program if we use a counter controlled loop to use a for loop. Although they did use you can use either one. But I'm trying to find where that for loop, where was the example? There it is, for loop. You would say for count is equal to 0, step, how many times? 2 times, or 2, actually 2, first you say counter is equal to 0, 2, step 1. We only want to go one at a time, right? We only want to step through it one at a time. So if we were doing it in JavaScript, it'd say for count equal to 0, semicolon, as long as count is less than or equal to 2, increment count. But that's how you do it in pseudocode. So if I wanted to do it in JavaScript, I'd say for, as long as counter is equal to 0, semicolon, then I would say, if I want to go ahead and put the JavaScript, it's over on page 136. Shows you Java, which is the same as JavaScript. As long as counter is, now if we're only going through, if it's set at 0, we want to go through 2 times, then we'd say as long as counter is less than 2 or less than or equal to 2, or you could say less than 3, either way you want to do it, right? Counter is less than or equal to 2, and then a semicolon goes there again if you're doing the Java, and then counter plus plus. Okay? And what do we want to do during those times through? And remember, we don't have to remember to increment the counter if we do it in a for loop. Or if you do a while loop, that step is at the bottom, right? Okay, so on this one, we're going to say for counter equals 0. As long as counter is less than or equal to 2, what do we want to do?
Multiply price.
Yes. Price equals price times 0.85. Right?
It is.
Pardon?
Isn't it times 2?
Oh, you're right. Because we gave it a constant, which is the good way to do it. Okay, so price equals price times discount. And then we want to output it, right, each time? Because we've put the original price. Yes, Kelly.
On the full counter part, is that how it would look in
Ja-
what we're doing right now? Or?
In JavaScript. The way I first did it was pseudocode. But I let you do either or. I count it right if you do. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, like right now we're doing.
We're actually doing pseudocode, and I kind of mixed it up. So if we were putting it in, let's put this back like this for a second. For counter equals 0. For counter equals 0 to step 1, and then that's the JavaScript behind these slashes. Okay, and this is actually on page 136 of your textbook. Shows you that for loop. Okay, so now we would, and actually this one, because I put the semicolon there, it looks like it's JavaScript. You don't have to have it for the pseudocode. I just think it's more consistent when I start thinking, since I am going to go to JavaScript, a lot of times I go ahead and my pseudocode, I put that syntax in there so that I don't
So
forget.
you're okay with that?
Yes, I'm totally okay with that. Okay, so then we would say output price, right? And that's the end for, well, in the pseudocode, you would say N4, but, you know, in the JavaScript, you don't do it that way. It's with a curly brace, right? Okay. Because some students, I know at the beginning anyway, they were still putting this in their JavaScript, or end while, or end if in your JavaScript, and it will work, okay?
But you do put else in there.
Yes, if there's an else in your if, yes, you do put else. But like
The
this one,
JavaScript.
yes. But this one doesn't have an else, right? But if it does, yes, the else does have to go in there. Okay, so N4, and basically that's the end of the problem, right? Is that the end of the loop? Anything else we need to do? Because all it's asking us to print out is the original price and then the price for day 1 and day 2. And actually it says 3 days, but the first day it's going to be the original price, right? So up here, when we actually format it in our JavaScript, we'd want to say first day. That's the way, let me read that again because I want to make sure that's clear how it's stated. Because it says, is having a 3-day sale during which the price of any unsold t-shirt drops 15% each day.
So we need to.
See, it kind of looks like you should have the,
Day two.
yes, it looks like actually it's kind of misleading, but we should actually have the original price. Then the first day it drops 15%, the way it reads. Because each day it should drop. The cost, $15 cost 15%. Yeah, I worded that kind of strangely. On the third day, so it does say the first day it's $15, doesn't it? Oh, I know what it is. Okay, this is not even saying what the original price is. It's just saying if it costs 15 on the first day, which means it's already been deducted 15%. So what would the cost have been? You follow what I'm saying? So if it was here, 3-day sale during which the price of an unsold t-shirt drops 15% each day. For example, if it costs $15 on the first day, then it costs 15% or less, $12.75. Could be read either way. But to get it to print out 3 days, you really want original price. So somebody have a calculator. What's $15? What is what? Add 15% to that.
$7.65.
Okay. So original price, which is kind of strange. I should change those figures. Is 17. I'm going to add that to the $17.65. The first day would be $15. Second day would be the $12.75, and then the third day, the sale would drop it to $10.84. Right? So that's I need to put that output so everybody will know in there that's what we want it to do. So if I go up here and say t-shirt, for example, original cost of t-shirt is $17.65. Yes.
If it's 15%, should it be actually 17.25, not 17.65?
I don't know. Did you do it on your? I didn't do it out.
I think it should be 17.25. If you do 50%,
15%. If you do 85, if you do take 15% off or add 15%, but you're doing 15% of. Oh, this is going to be hard, isn't it? Because
Well, you said 15, right?
what do you got? What do you got, Corey? 15%.
50% of
15 times 1.15 is 17 and a quarter.
Oh, okay. So we got it. That's all right. Okay, that's all right. Okay, 17.25. All right, thank you. For example, original cost of t-shirt is $17.25. Then the t-shirt cost $15 on the first day. Cost 15% less of original. Would that make sense? Let's see how I word it. 15% less.
It is $17.65 because you're adding 15% of $15, not taking away 15% of $17.65. Because if you multiply 17.25 times 15%, you get 14.66.
Oh. Boy, look at these mathematicians in here. You guys are really thinking. This is great. I like. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's see. So you were saying, my calculator's on here. You were saying that if it's 17.65, take 17.65 times
That's right.
0.85, then you would get $15, right? You see, Ben?
I
Okay.
was just doing it $15.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that's okay. A lot of people.
Second guess myself, so.
Yeah, everybody. That's how we do it. Not since I didn't work it before class. Then I was just going with. Where's it at? 1765. T-shirt costs $15 on the first day, which is 15. First day. Let me explain that so everybody will know. Which is that right? Is 15% less than original. And that should say and $12.75 on the second day. On the third day, the same item is 15% less than $12.75. Does that make better sense now? Does that tell what we're wanting? Okay, so then let me show what the output should be. Well, actually, when we get through, we're going to run that loop, which will show that part. Okay, so this is what we have. That didn't change any of. Yeah, it'll change our loop, right? Should be less than or equal to 3. So we're going to output the original price, and then it'll go through the loop 3 times, right? So this should still be correct. So now we're going to take this. Well, I'm not going to copy that part. And we're going to start a new, I don't really want it to be a text document. Let me see, where's my, oh, here's one. I'll just take this one and take all this out. Okay, so this one that the prompt should go here. Okay, so I shouldn't have to change any of my variables. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking my pseudocode, right? Those of you, I didn't mean to take that whole step out, but I'm taking my pseudocode and I copied it into my starter JavaScript, right? That's what I just did in that step. All right, so my declarations, because of the way I wrote them in my pseudocode, I don't have to change those, right? Those came across line for line from my pseudocode, each line in my JavaScript. Everybody follow that? So my pseudocode, and if you were doing it in a flow chart, it would still be each input, each of your variables are in one box, and you put them all in your declarations. Now my input has to change in my JavaScript, right? So what is the command in JavaScript that takes place of input?
Prompt.
Prompt. But I can't just say prompt. What do I have to put before it?
The variable.
The variable. So this switches places, right? So I say price equals prompt. And then what I put in quotes is what's going to be printed out to the screen for the user. So I'm asking them, please enter the original price. Oh, I've got a lot longer. Price of a t-shirt.
F a t-shirt?
Oh, what?
F.
Oh, if of. Okay, thanks. Of a t-shirt. Okay. Please enter the original price of a t-shirt. Yes. Comma, 0, close the parentheses, right? Okay. Next, I have my output. Oh, did not. My mouse is kind of scrolling around there. I don't know what, it's lost control here. Okay, output is what in JavaScript?
Document.WriteLine.
Document.WriteLine. So that's the same thing for pseudocode. I'm translating my pseudocode output to document.WriteLine. And this will say, oops, and this will say original, I guess, original price of t-shirt And then I can say space so that it won't be right up against it. And now, I might have to do one thing before I do that. Sometimes what do I have to do? I have to say, oops, not there. Wanted to be after that. Sometimes I have to make sure it's numeric, or it's better to do that to make sure. The only thing is, if I initialize it up here as 0, I shouldn't have to do that. But if yours comes out where it doesn't read that price, then you can say price equals price times 1.0, right? But it should, when you initialize it up here with a value, then it should know that it's numeric. You shouldn't have any problems with that. Okay, so we can actually take this out, because that was our pseudocode. For counter equals 0, as long as counter is less than or equal to 3, increment counter. Is that right? And then I have to start with it should be a curly brace here.
Do you put a semicolon after counter plus plus?
No, that's the only one that you don't. You know why? Because in the for loop, we don't want it to end there. It stops here and then it comes back up and increments counter. It's kind of strange the way it works. Okay, so wow, my mouse is scrolling. Okay, so it will go over. So all I need to do here should be to add a semicolon, and then my output will say document dot write line. And now my days are going to change each time, right? So what am I going to do there? I may want to have another, actually I can use counter, right? Whatever counter is, because the first time through when it's 0, counter's going to increment. Yeah, I probably want to start counter at 1, don't I? Because then if I could use counter as my day. You know what I'm saying? So if I start counter up here at 1, do I need to change this? Did it go 1? First day, second day. I think this will work. Let's see. Let's say as long as counters. The price? Well, the price is what the user's inputting. So it is going to change price right here.
Yeah, but up there you change the price.
Oh, I see. Thank you. I'm sorry. Let's see. So this is 0. This should be 1. All right. Now, is it going to go through the correct number of times? Because the first time through, it's going to be 1, because it won't increment counter till at the end of the loop. So this should work. Let's try it. So this one would say, oops, the first thing we want to do is counter, then you have to do a plus usually. Counter plus space day. It won't say like first or second, it'll just say, or we could say day first and say, so it'll say day 1, day 2, day 3. That might look better than first, because we can't really put first, second, and third because they're all different. So if we say, oops, day, space, comma, counter, plus, what are we saying, price, plus price, or we want to say day 1 is, so if we do that we can say is comma, if y'all see something that you think will work better, Can do it. In fact, this we'll just have to say comma, I believe. I don't know. Sometimes it makes you concatenate with the plus. Day counter is price. Okay. And then we want a break also. So I'm going to say plus BR. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to put pluses in here. Has anyone tried it yet? Okay, that one. And then I have a closing curly brace. Okay, let's see. File, save as. Google Drive. Okay, this one is A3. A3 underscore 1. I'll call it part 1 of it. Doesn't work. Didn't even take my input, did it? Did anybody do their input? No? Okay, let me make sure that I've got the syntax. Well, there's a couple places that I can go to check the syntax of the for loop.
Did you put a semicolon after the first prompt?
No, I didn't. I'll put that in. I don't think that... Did you get the prompt to work? Because even the prompt isn't working. Price equals prompt. Okay, let me do file, save. No, I didn't think it would run it. Okay, there's one place that I always like to go to, and there's another one that Amelia gave us too. But you can go into JavaScript here, and you can find loops. Data types, objects, statements, output. Loop 4 right here. Then it shows us exactly what it should look like. Did we do it right? No, I didn't put it in parentheses, did I? For loop. And there's where you concatenate cars, document.write. Oh, I thought it had to be done like that. I think each thing has to be... There's the template for it. X equals X plus.
Mine's saying it's an unexpected identifier.
On which one?
I'm not sure.
Okay, let's see. Let's go here and put that in. But mine's not even doing. Save. There it is. Please enter the original price of a t-shirt. So if I say 17.65, that's my alert I put in. Okay, and I didn't put my 2 fixed, otherwise it would be right. Okay, so in my output, right here where I put price, I need to say oops. So I probably need to do it outside of there. It'd be the easiest.
That's what I did. I actually
Yeah.
got it and got it to work. I got mine to work.
You got yours to work?
Yes.
Okay, so you did it like this. Price equals...
Price dot to fixed.
Okay, price equals price dot to... Oops, that has to be... Yeah, that's right. Fixed. And 2 like that. And now when it prints out price... Let me say file. Oh, let me take that alert out. I don't need that. I put that alert in just to see if my price was going to come up. So that's like a debug thing. Okay, so now I can say It is. Please enter the original price, 17.65. Okay. Oh. Why did it stop that time? Didn't go through. That is weird. Okay, let's see. What did I change? Only this statement. I'll try putting it down in there and see what happens, but it shouldn't go down in there, really. Did you see something different on mine? Plus BR. Oh, actually, I don't have to say equals here. I would just say. It should have worked the other way, too. Save. $10.65.
So you commented out the alert. Maybe that did something. I don't know.
I know it shouldn't have stopped. Oh, because it's stopping. It's stopping right here after the original price. So it's not even going into my for loop for some reason, and it was. Let me see. Do I see any errors? I'm gonna open it in Dreamweaver. That'll tell me. File open. Dreamweaver will tell me if I've got something coded wrong here. Spring 3 open. Oh, everything looks right. No weird colored things. Document dot write line, but it's not going into my for loop. That is strange. Okay, so it doesn't like my for loop.
Yeah, I've already got everything uploaded to Google Chrome. So.
Okay, let's go into yours and see how mine's different. Yours is.
I mean, it's like the whole thing with the nested loop and the set.
Oh, I don't want to see all that yet. I'll tell everybody. Okay, let's see. So I want to see if anyone else can do it. Okay, Amelia. That.
Under chapter 4, though.
Chapter 4. This is it.
Yeah, assignment 3.
Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna comment out while. Okay, but what is this part? Oh, you did a while loop instead of a for loop.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I need to try. Did anybody get their for loop to work right? Like I was working until I put that. Let me take the 2 fixed out and just see if that is my problem. What? But it doesn't work with it in there either. Does it stop like mine does?
It does show like the original price, and it won't do anything else.
Huh.
For
That.
some reason, for loops don't like 2 fixed. Huh. I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, so we can't do the 2 fixed unless we change this to a while, and we didn't get to anybody. While counter is equal to 1, then this would have to go down at the bottom, and we would have to say no semicolon. We'd have to put this Command X right here, right? Now let's see if it'll work with the 2 fix. Save. Still doing that again. Still doesn't like the for loop, but yours worked. Oh, I've still got it in here. That's what my problem is. Still got it in here. Whereas, thought I could fool it, I guess. File, save. Now let's try it. Oops. 17.65. There it is. So in order, I don't know why that's, I'll have to do some checking on why the to fixed is not working. But there's the way, there it will work with the for loop. So if I change it, oh, I changed it to a while loop, so it should let me do this, right? But it wasn't.
Oh, maybe the F on the to fixed has to be capital.
That is right. Okay, let's see, file, save. $17.65. There it is. Okay, that was it. The to fixed because it is case sensitive. Okay, everybody got that, what we copied here? So if we're going to make the to fixed work, we have to use a while loop. So we're going to have 2 while loops. So now all you have to do is get the outer while loop working before Thursday. Okay? Get with someone. Amelia got hers working, so if you have some problems, get her a little early. Maybe she'll help you. Okay? So get that one done, and then we'll go over it on Thursday. And since I didn't get to work with everybody on any questions you have, I'm sure we'll have time on Thursday since we've almost got this one done. Okay? All right. So I will see y'all on Thursday then.
It should work on Safari. I tested it with both Google Chrome and Internet Explorer.
And Internet, okay.
I
Oh,
got test Internet Explorer.
is that not recording? Oh, yeah. Stop.